Hi, and welcome to Fedmail. Thank you for joining us on this Friday afternoon. Hope you're doing well and that you've had a good week and that you're in good health. A lot of people we know have COVID. We're wishing you all a speedy and full recovery. A few things coming up this week I want to talk to you about, and then I want to let you know what we've done this past week. The first is this Sunday, there's a craft vendor fair at the JCC. That's Sunday. Check out the flyer below to get all of the information on it. Perfect for Mother's Day. Coming up on May 2nd, Monday evening, we have Rabbi Capers Funnye, an African-American rabbi from Chicago who's coming in as part of the Black Jewish Alliance program. We've talked about it a lot before. Capers Funnye happens to be Michelle Obama's cousin, has a lot to say about Black Jewish relations between the two communities, and he will be speaking on Monday evening. Check out the flyer below. We want you to take part. Come out for that program. We'd love to see you. May 3rd, Yom HaZikaron, that is Israel's Memorial Day. We're going to be doing a program in coordination with Rhode Island's Jewish community, in particular their Shaliach, their emissary, along with our emissary, Aviv Jerby. Yom HaZikaron, May 3rd. The next item, the JCC Film Fest, that is ongoing. So our local JCC each year, does a terrific job with an international and Israeli film fest. This year they're partnering with other communities because it's virtual, so they're able to really bring in even higher level quality films than normal. It's partially funded by Jewish Federation, and there are dates throughout the next week. Make sure to check that out. That is the JCC's International Jewish Israeli Film Fest. And then last but not least, you don't want to miss May 15th, our Israel Bonds Yom HaAtzmaot celebration coming to B'nai Shalom. We're honoring Robin and Andy Feldman and junior honoree Emichaya Lipton-Praver. That's going to be a great event. You can sign up for it. We need you to sign up for it because we need to know how much food and other supplies to have. But it's going to be a great day. A lot of activities for young people, for those who are 21 and older, a wine tasting, some Israeli dancing. We're going to talk a little bit about Israel, celebrate Robin and Andy and Emichaya. Have a great time and help out Israel Bonds. So make sure to check out the flyer for that. We want you to RSVP. Now, what went on this week? Well, this week we observed Yom HaShaoh. Starting on Tuesday afternoon, Jewish Federation brought in Worcester City Manager Ed Augustus along with the heads of all of Worcester City government departments, including the fire chief, the police chief, Superintendent Benenda, and a number of others. We had about 20 people in the room for it to talk about rising anti-Semitism, how we could combat it, how we could do better with Holocaust education, and we're grateful to the city of Worcester for being so supportive of our efforts and our concerns. So that was Tuesday. Also, Spectrum News, you may have seen it, Spectrum covered that program for us. Wednesday evening, we held our community's Yom HaShaoh commemoration at Congregation B'nai Shalom. Following the service, there was a wonderful presentation by two professors of architecture who have spent the last decade restoring and recreating one of the historic wooden synagogues of Eastern Europe, in particular the intricate, ornate, painted interior of these wooden synagogues. So that was a terrific program. And then the following day, we raised the flag of the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising at Worcester City Hall, which was an experience that certainly was unique to Worcester, but that particular flag may not have been raised ever in a ceremony like that. So our community really made an effort, in particular, the crowds really came out to observe Yom HaShaoh, which is so important. Some of us may think, well, your family may not have been affected by the Holocaust, but I assure you that all of us are affected in some way. And quite frankly, even if your family wasn't personally affected, that was only by one little bit of luck, because had your ancestors not come to the United States when they did, they almost certainly would have been in the path of destruction, whether it would have been in Eastern Europe or even North Africa, Mizrahi Jews too, because Hitler and the Nazi regime had their sights on conquering North Africa and the British Mandate of Palestine, and certainly would have certainly would have engaged in the same level of genocide of our people there as did happen in Eastern Europe. And again, if it hadn't been the fact that your family was fortunate enough to come here before that, and you personally escaped, you certainly have relatives who may be distant who were affected by it, but you yourself only are here by one stroke of luck, one bit of fortune, and we need to keep that in mind. 2/3 of all European Jews were killed during the Holocaust. One out of every 3 Jews in the world was murdered during that time. So we need to keep that in mind. And lastly, the bridge over Lake Queen Sigmund, Burns Bridge, was lit yellow on the evening of Yom HaShaoh in commemoration. So with that, I hope to see you at the programs coming up this week. I want to encourage you again to sign up for the May 15th Yom HaAtzmaut Israel Bonds program. That's an important one. We want to have a good showing for that, and you should certainly come out. It's going to be a great time. So take care. Have a great week. Be healthy. Be well. Bye-bye.